y'all. Welcome back to the FG Cup Series here on NBCSN. We are at Chicagoland Speedway, getting ready to kick things off for what should be yet another wild one, an exciting one here in Joliet, Illinois. My goodness, you do not pronounce the S sound at the end of Illinois. What I've noticed. Why did I say Illinois? Anyway. Dale Jr. is your pole sitter after winning at North Wilkesboro and spoke too soon. He just blew up. Alright. I was gonna dive into how he won. North Wilkesboro dominated flag to flag, and both the 88 cars won that weekend, but so much for that. Looks like he's gonna be out of this race. So that moves Tony Stewart up into the lead position on the inside line. And here we go. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Chicagoland. Already seeing cars step out of line back there, trying to work their way to the front. Junior blowing up, just made it to his pit box. We're going to stay green. Tony Stewart trying to decide which lane he wants to run. He's going to run the bottom, of course. But up top, Jimmy Johnson held his own up there. And he's actually got a pretty good run down the front straightaway. Where's he going to go with it? I don't think he has a big enough run to make anything work, but he's definitely going to go after it. Look at the 8 of Mark Barter running up high on the racetrack. He's going to get the run off turn number 2. Looking like this track is starting to expand a little bit. The groove's starting to widen out just a little bit. You're seeing drivers able to make it stick up high and kind of compete with the guys down low. Very interesting to see. Got some big time speed here at Chicagoland. Upwards of 200 miles an hour. Heading down into turn 1 for Kevin Harvick there. Now, of course, everybody uses the bottom of the racetrack. That is the quicker way around. The shorter way around, usually the quickest, but the top seems to be a viable option as well. So that's very fun to see. We like seeing tracks, mile-and-a-half tracks widen out. Give these drivers multiple passing options. Saw a little bit of contact there between Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards. And now look at the 07 of Boyer trying to sneak to the inside. He's going to get his nose underneath that 99 car. Look at the 11 of Hamlin with a run up high. He's going to get to the outside of Boyer in the middle of 3 wide behind him as well. Kyle Busch in the middle of that. And we're going to have to take a quick crank it up break. And never mind, I can't even mute, so we're just going to... And I am back. Sorry, had to take care of something real quick. But you know, the show must go on. Once I start recording, I do not like to stop and start over. We do not edit. We treat this like it's an actual live broadcast with less technology. Even with live broadcasts, usually they have that 5-second delay and you can edit things out. But nope, we don't have that luxury here. We don't have the ability to edit things out or get that 5-second buffer. So Everything is purely live here in Money Car. As you see, the 20 of Tony Stewart continuing to lead. Jeff Gordon to the inside of his teammate, looking for second. Couldn't quite get there as Johnson had a good run through the corner. Just not as good as the run Gordon had on the bottom. So Gordon starting to lose that ground. Couldn't launch all the way up the racetrack. Johnson now holding his own through the middle of 3 and 4. It's actually a really good, really big bump down on the bottom of the racetrack. I believe in turns 3 and 4. That can get these cars a little squirrely. So if the setup isn't right, you're already fighting a loose race car. That'll upset your car even further. You want it to be nice and snug when it goes over that bump down there. Now looking at the inside line, starting to get some more grip as that kind of becomes the preferred groove. Drivers up high, still trying to make it work, but not quite holding their own as well as they were earlier on in this race. Now Johnson's still doing everything he can because he's got no choice, but he's not going to be able to hang on, I don't think. Unless something changes big time as he runs up the track a little bit more right there. And the 17 of Kansas going to try to move up and cover him as the 48 actually held his own pretty well. How about the 99 of Carl Edwards looking low? Can't quite get there. Now it's going to be 3 wide off turn 4. Johnson with the momentum still hanging on the high side. On the outside of Martin for a lap or 2 straight. Now Edwards is going to take advantage. He's going to clear on the inside. Washes up in front of the 48. 48 almost got into the outside wall. Still side by side with the 8 of Martin. Martin's finally going to drive it off into the corner and clear him here. Or will he? He does, finally. Just moves up in front of that 48. Here comes the 31 of Jeff Burton. Burton and Boyer looking to get up into this battle as well. As Johnson crosses underneath and gets back underneath the 8 car for position yet again. And he's going to clear Martin. Here comes 31 of Burton to the inside. Up front, fighting for the lead. Denny Hamlin's going to take it from Jeff Gordon. He's got a push from his teammate Tony Stewart down the front straightaway. And that's going to clear him out in front of the 24 car. Now, the 11 slides up. The 20 ran the bottom. The 11 ran the top. Got a great run off the high side. Here comes the 24 of Gordon with a run off the top as well. Looks like the top line starting to revive itself a little bit here. Or maybe the 20 just got in there too hot. Had to check up. The racing so far today has been incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff here from Chicagoland Speedway. Denny Hamlin, your new race leader, trying to run away with it, but Jeff Gordon's right there in second. Can he mount a charge back at that 11 car? The 99 of Edwards there as well. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson in the mix. Gordon, defensive line in a turn 1. Defending any possible moves to the inside, but now running the high line as Edwards did end up crossing underneath. Here comes the 48 of Johnson. 3 wide into turn 3. Gordon backs out. He's going to lose some spots. It's been an amazing opening to this race, and it's only going to get even better as the race plays out. We're going to take a quick break right here. We'll be right back after this here from Chicago. Welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway. Denny Hamlin started to open the gap, but Jimmy Johnson now running him down, not letting him get too far ahead. The top four starting to create some separation though. The rest of the field is still bunched up, racing like crazy back there. You see the 99 hanging tough on the outside of Kyle Busch. See the 11 of Hamlin on the inside. 48 running a slightly higher line, and there you saw the 49 kind of checked up that 11 car a little bit on corner entry. That's going to allow Johnson to possibly take advantage. He's got to run, trying to close in. Apparently actually lost ground that lap. These guys not getting all the way down to the bottom anymore. Notice they're running about a groove up from the bottom lane. Probably aware of that bump, trying to make sure they don't get down in it. You see the 11 running a higher line. The 48 of Johnson did get under that black line. And now close the gap quite a bit. And here comes the 00 Michael McDowell right in front of our leaders. Johnson's going to go through the middle, almost slid up in the 00. Pushes McDowell up the racetrack. He's going to lose a ton of ground from that mistake. Uh-oh, McDowell now right down in front of Jeff Gordon. Gordon's going to move him up out of the groove. And now battle for P3 is going to ensue. As Gordon got held up big time, and now Boyer is going to launch it off into the corner. Gordon with a run on the top, Boyer through the middle. Catching up. How about Carl Edwards down there making it 4 wide heading into turns 3 and 4. Big dive off into the corner. Gordon's up into the outside wall. That hurt Gordon big time. He's going to lose a ton of spots. And getting hooked by McDowell after that contact. Another lap car, Ken Schrader in the mix. He's trying to just stay high, let everybody go by. Not sure what was up with McDowell there. Schrader moving up the track. Sees Biffle coming. Tried to let him by. Biffle slides in behind. He's going to push him down the front stretch. So Carl Edwards now moves into P3. As we approach the halfway point in this race, this time by, we'll see the halfway signal. Battle of 2 racing lines now. Jimmy Johnson running right down against the white line as he moves back down the racetrack. Of course, that's more of a tire wear thing, but also a comfort thing. Running a little higher through 1 and 2 is Johnson. Just trying out different lines, seeing what works out best for him to get up there and pass that 11. Of course, he's going to get right down to the bottom again. Actually decided against it. The 11 went all the way down to the white line that time. I think he's trying to block whatever line Johnson's running at this point. He's doing a great job predicting. They both ran not the middle, but a groove up that time by through 1 and 2. Now we're going to go through 3 and 4. Johnson down to the bottom, the 11 down on the seam. But it seems like the 11's turning better down on that seam rather than getting down to the white line. Johnson just trying anything he can to get a run on the 11 car. Can he gain some ground? This time by, we're going to go on board. He's got a good run out of turn 4 there. Now looking to close the gap yet again. Johnson and Hamlin duking it out for the win. Further back, the battle for 3rd. Still as hot as ever, but Edwards hanging on. We got more cars in front of our leaders. As you see the 40 of Dario Franchitti. Franchitti. He's kind of minding his own business. No cars around him, just running his own race. Surely he'll get out of the way of the leaders as Johnson tries to run a higher line that time by. We still got a long way to go. But that long way to go can go by so quickly. That's why these guys are doing everything they can. They have a chance to go after it now. They don't care about waiting. Things can ruin that. A caution could ruin that. So they want to go after it now. As we head down into 3 and 4, the 40 of Franchitti is going to move up out of Hamlin's way off quarter exit, but that's going to not allow Hamlin to wash up as far as he needs to. Here comes Johnson with the run, taking advantage. He's going to try and dive to the inside. Can he get underneath Hamlin? No, not quite. Hamlin gets the run through the corner. And he's able to hang on to the race lead for now. Doing everything he can to close the gap. He's right there. Has Hamlin in his clutches. 198 heading down into 3 and 4 for both drivers. Down into 1 and 2. We're looking at 200 plus for Johnson. 200 on the dot for Hamlin. So the draft definitely playing a factor down the front stretch. Not much, but 1 mile an hour can still make the difference if you can get close enough. Johnson doing everything he can. Might not be pushing quite as hard. He's got Hamlin right there. Might be close enough to just keep him, you know, keep himself in Hamlin's mind. Might just be waiting for them to catch lap traffic. They're on the same straightaway as Johnny Sauter and a bunch other. Running up the racetrack, trying a different line. Couldn't quite get that to work. He's trying to mount a run on David Reagan. I know these leaders are hoping they stay away from each other so they can race it out. Reagan did a great job running the top through 1 and 2. Seems like which line works varies from each end of the racetrack, which obviously these drivers have figured out. They're trying different lines in each corner. But it's a matter of which line works where. We still haven't figured that out. They're just trying new things. Johnson's going to try to run slightly higher through 1 and 2. Can he get the run on turn 4 or turn 2? Breaking even down the backstretch. Slightly higher through 3 and 4. Starting to think dirty air might be playing a factor as well in this battle. It's not something we talk about much, but it is a thing. more based on how strong of a car do you have. Do you have a car that's strong enough to fight through that dirty air, that turns good through that dirty air? It's not quite as big of a factor as it is in our real life counterpart, but see Johnny Sauter staying high and out of the way, lets Johnson and Hamlin go by, but it's still a thing. Could that be a factor? Could that be coming into play? It seems like it. Johnson, now that I think about it, running slightly different lines, trying to get out of it, and here comes Jimmy with the run down the front stretch, diving to the inside. Oh, there's going to be 3 wide off turn 2 with the lap car of David Reagan. Reagan up high, or in the middle, trying to just back out of it. Johnson down low, couldn't get the run he needed to stay alongside, but Hamlin now runs up in more lap traffic. Here comes Johnson up behind that 11 car. Right up on the back bumper of Hamlin here. Where's he going to go? Through the middle. To get the run on exit. Hamlin, he's got lap cars side by side in front of him down the backstretch. He's pushing the 28 of Quapple down the back straightaway. Now he's going to dive to the inside in turn 3 and 4. Quapple stays high, lets him through. Hamlin is going to be aggressive and dive under the 55. He tried, couldn't quite get there. Here comes Johnson, here comes Hamlin underneath Michael Waltrip. Uh-oh, but Hamlin had to check up on corner entry. Here comes Johnson through the corner. Can he get the run he needs this time by to get underneath? 3 wide yet again with lap traffic. Down the back stretch and into turns 3 and 4. Hamlin is going to shut the door on Johnson yet again. But now Paul Menard right in front of our leaders. The 15 is going to stay high. Here comes the 48 following through. Getting a run on Hamlin, and for whatever reason he decided to get up behind the 15. That was strange. Still got by him relatively quickly. We're getting down to the end here. It'll be 10 laps to go from Chicagoland Speedway. To go to 11 on the inside. Got stuck behind Robbie Gordon through 1 and 2 there. I think assumed Robbie would move out of the way. Now Robbie's not the type. He's going to stay right down in there and race to the final, to the checker flag flies, and he gets into the back of that 7 car. Hamlin being very aggressive with Robbie Gordon, trying to get him out of the way. Johnson's going to run the high lane here. Cuts down. He's got to run down the backstretch. Can he get there? Hamlin. Oh, man, that was... God, that was close. Here comes Johnson to the inside. Off of turn 4. Can he get to the inside of Hamlin? Side by side at the stripe. Hamlin led the lap. Here comes Johnson. Can he use the 40 or the 96 car as a pick? J.J. Yaley could be the deciding factor in this race. He's going to stay in the middle of the racetrack, moves up in front of Hamlin. He's just running his line. Hamlin going to stay up high. And for whatever reason, he chooses to run right behind. Oh, Johnson's pitting! Johnson's pitting! Jimmy Johnson's heading down pit road. We knew with the tire issue, we were going to have to bring stronger tires to the racetrack, so that was going to be wasn't going to be a problem. But fuel, we didn't think about fuel. It's been a clean and green race so far, no cautions. This is coming down to possibly coming down to fuel mileage as Hamlin stays out another lap. With cautions, usually these guys have a chance to save fuel or go down pit road and fill up. But this has been green to the end. This has been green since the drop of the green flag at the beginning of the race. No cautions, caution free. Jimmy Johnson back out on the racetrack. Where's Denny Hamlin? Hamlin's through 3 and 4. He's coming down pit road right now. Hamlin's pitting. Pitting later, he can take less fuel. But it depends on the traffic on pit road. There's quite a few cars in the pits right now. Hamlin, oh boy. Oh no, Hamlin just able to get into his stall, but got slowed down big time by the 19 of Elliott Sadler, trying to get into his pit stall. Where is Jimmy Johnson? Jimmy Johnson's in turn 4. Jimmy Johnson's coming off turn number 4. He's going to get his lap back, and he's going to take the lead of the race. Jimmy Johnson is your new race leader. Hamlin just now coming off pit road. What a turn of events here from Chicagoland. It came down to fuel mileage. And Carl Edwards is going to take P2. Hamlin's running P4 as Boyer's in P3. Hamlin lost a ton of ground on pit road due to the contact with Elliott Sadler. We knew a miscue on pit road could end it for one of these drivers. Unfortunately, it was Hamlin. Jimmy Johnson back out in front, the 2004 MG Cup Series champion, leading here in Chicagoland. Underneath Reed Sorensen, he's got clear ground in front of him. The next lap car is Val Wolf in the 14, but she's way ahead. We might not catch her. Here comes the 99 of Carl Edwards to the inside of Michael McDowell. He's doing everything he can, but it might be too little too late. This effort might be in vain. Look at the 96 of J.J. Yaley. He's catching the 15. That's also a battle for position. We got battles all over the racetrack for just about every spot. Jimmy Johnson heading down into 3 and 4. Carl Edwards doing everything he can off of turn number 4. Johnson's going to see the white flag this time by. It's 1 lap to go at Chicagoland. Hamlin now running P3. Doing everything he can, but he might lose the spot to Tony Stewart. He's going to dive down low. They're going to be 3 wide down the backstretch. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Off turn 4, Jimmy Johnson is going to see the checker flag. He wins at Chicagoland. Edwards P2 and a heartbreak for Hamlin. He's going to have to settle for 3rd after dominating this race. It came down to pit stops, and Johnson had a cleaner stop. Got in and out of pit road quicker, and that was the difference between the 1st place and the 3rd place finish for Denny Hamlin. Wow, what a race. We don't see it come down to pit strategy that often, but that was amazing. Man, I thought the strategy races were killed when I got the glitch and I had to change the tire wear. But luckily, we still got fuel mileage races. That's going to be interesting. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. I hope to see y'all next time. And until then,